أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم الحمد لله رب العالمين. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. We are coming to a close, and our visitor is about to return, is about to leave us. And as we remember, when the month of Ramadan began for all of us, we talked about it as a figurative guest. This figurative guest, we were supposed to have some activities around this guest. We were supposed to be hosting the guest, and we were supposed to be surrounding our guests with all of the wonderful things that support hosting a guest like Ramadan. And so Ramadan gets here, and we get all tangled up in all of these activities centered around Ramadan. And before you know it, 10 days pass, 20 days pass, and now we're sitting here on the 29th day. Dear brothers and sisters, be mindful that if Allah bless you to see Ramadan this year, then He gave you a chance to make good on all of the wonderful things that Ramadan brings with it. And so you have to ask yourself, and you know whether you did or not, did I increase in my taqwa? Did I increase in my gratitude? Did I increase in my guidance? What verses of the Quran did I learn? What activities did I perform during the month of Ramadan that I'm not normally performing? How did I show that I'm more conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Did I get upset and stop myself and say, oh, Allah is watching me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala got that. Let me leave that alone. Did you have an opportunity to argue with someone and chose not because you knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not pleased with that? If you've done those things, dear brothers and sisters, then we thank Allah for you, and we say praise and glory be to Allah for having a servant like you that can take the month of Ramadan and benefit from it, and it be seen in their current actions, and that we're not putting off doing anything. We're doing it right now. May Allah help us. To that we say Ameen. In the month of Ramadan, dear brothers and sisters, we had the opportunity to visit the statements of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concerning the do's and don'ts, His prohibitions, all of the things that He encourages, the things that He discourages, what He loves, what He doesn't like. How are we to get into the category of those who Allah loves? Allah tells us all of that. He tells us how to seek refuge in Him, how to gain His refuge. He tells us about the success of those who believed in Him and those who failed because of their lack of belief in Him. He told us who our friends are and who they're not. He told us where we need to be trying to go, dear brothers and sisters, and that we don't have a right to stand anywhere in stagnation. Allah in the Quran had told us all of the stories, the Ad, the Thamud, the people of Hud. He told us all of the things that took place with Salih. May Allah's mercy be on him. Rahim rahmatullah alayhi salam, on all of the prophets. He told us about Noah. He told us about Lot. He told us about Musa alayhi salam, and all of them. He gave us their stories, and He told us about the social ills that existed during the time of Lut, alayhi salam. The social ills that existed during the time of Noah, alayhi salam. The social ills that existed during the time of Musa, alayhi salam. And you put all of them together, and you have that same thing in our society. And then you look at what He gave them as a cure. Dear brothers and sisters, be mindful to take a lesson from all of the lives of the prophets in the Quran. Be mindful to take a lesson from all of the cities and towns that are mentioned in the Quran, all of the civilizations that are mentioned. Take a lesson from that. Take a lesson from all of the animals that are mentioned in the Quran and how Allah addresses them, or how Allah speaks about them. Be mindful, dear brothers and sisters, how Allah in the Quran talks about the elements, the weather. He talks about the natural disasters that we see. Be mindful of how Allah addresses those things so that you can implement them in your life, so that you can be more conscious. Because that's what it's about, leaving the month of Ramadan more conscious. May Allah help us. To that we say Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.